What's up, everybody? This is Danny looking at the Samsung Chromebook unboxing and review. This is the updated ARM processor version, and it's available on the Google Play Store and Amazon. And let's go ahead and unbox this, and we'll talk about the specs as we go. So, opening the box, you will see the Chromebook here. Let's go ahead and put that to the side for now and see what else comes in the box. This thing is being powered by a 1.7 gigahertz Exynos dual-core processor with Mali 604 graphics and 16 gigabytes of flash storage with SD card expansion. So it comes with a cool Chrome sticker right there, kind of reminiscent of the Apple sticker, but very cool anyway. I really like that sticker. You get the quick start guide, safety precautions, some warranty stuff, and here's a card that says welcome to your Chromebook and kind of gives you some tips on how to set it up. In the back here, you will see there is a little box here, and that is just your charger, and the charging port is in the back of the Chromebook, and this is just standard fare with the brick. So the retail price of this is $249, which is very, very cheap for a laptop type of device, and there's also a 3G version for a little bit more, but most people will probably be using this under Wi-Fi, so very good deal. The 3G version uses Verizon 3G, by the way. So let's just go ahead and take this right outside of the sleeve here, and you will see that it's a very nice slim device, and it is silver. There's no other colors available as of right now. So let's just go ahead and open this top here, and let's take off this little protector that is protecting the keyboard and screen, and you will see there's the Chrome logo, and look at how fast this thing boots up. This is super quick, and that's one of the big advantages of Chrome OS because it's very lightweight. So let's go ahead and dive into the hardware. You can see that it's got some real nice rounded edges. I think it's designed pretty well for this type of class of device. And you can see that there's a nice notch out for the opening of the clamshell. And there's a pretty good amount of ports on this device. So let's take a look at that too. On the left side, you will see a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack with a full SD card slot, so you can go ahead and expand that storage of your 16 gig flash drive. You'll see a 3G card slot right there, USB 3. Yes, USB 3. It's unbelievable on a price set like this. A USB 2 port and an HDMI out for monitor and TV output, and you will see the charging port right there to charge your device. Now the screen is fairly thin as well, looks really good. This is an 11.6 inch HD 1366 by 768 resolution with 200 nits of brightness, and it is a matte screen, so all you anti-glare fans will be very, very happy with this screen. It looks pretty good. Colors can be washed out a little bit for sure. It could be a little bit brighter, but I don't think you'll be that disappointed in this screen, for it looks pretty good, and I like the color replication for sure on the screen. The keyboard here is of the chiclet affair, very reminiscent of the MacBook Air, and it feels pretty good, very good to type with, and I really like the keyboard here. And there's a large multi-touch trackpad also to go along with that for your internet experience. So if you're not familiar with Chrome OS, this is not Mac OS, this is not Windows XP or Windows 8. It's not a full desktop environment. Basically what you're doing here is everything is built off of the web. It is built off of Chrome, the web browser. So even though you see Google Sheets, Google Docs, Slides, Google Plus, all of these icons are like a quick launcher or a glorified tab, as you will say, for the Chrome browser. So you see Netflix there, and anytime you hit any one of these things, it's just going to end up opening Chrome and taking you to that area. I'll dive further into this, but when you hit the new tabs there, you will see that the web browser launches, which is Chrome, and you will see all the different tabs there. And it looks like any other laptop would, or Chrome browser would look like on Windows or Mac. And you'll see you have tabs there, favorites, everything like that. So for people that internet browse mostly on their device, will probably not be able to really tell the difference here with Chromebook because it is a laptop type shell with Chrome OS on it. The shortcut keys that they've included are very nice. So you'll see like a back, refresh, like a multitask pane window type thing. And you'll see what I mean here. And like if you have the camera open, you can go ahead and hit this and it will kind of cycle through whatever you have open. So that's nice. So you can go ahead and flip through that. Kind of like your deck of cards or your expose type thing on Mac. And you can see that it's got a refresh button there, and you also have back. So it's pretty cool to have these shortcut keys at the top of your keyboard. Very nice. So opening up YouTube, you will see that it does have Flash support, which is good. So it will play all your Flash videos, and it does look pretty good on the Chrome web browser, not a problem. Let's go ahead and step up to 1080p and see if we can handle 1080p video. The internals of this Chromebook are just like a Nexus 10. It's that ARM processor, mobile processor built into a Chromebook, so it does perform very close to that. But you will see that it does handle 1080p video pretty well, and it handles playback pretty well. So if you watch a lot of YouTube videos, 1080p is not a problem with the Samsung Chromebook ARM processor. Here's another example of how this Chrome OS is basically baked into the internet. And if you see here the settings on the right hand corner, if you hit settings, it actually takes you to the web browser and loads up right there on the settings. So all your settings are also dealt with in the cloud as well. Usually when you hit settings, it'll bring it up in the OS and it changes it, but this is built off of Chrome OS. So this is further for you to understand that Chrome is baked into the web browser and internet connectivity. And you can see here that the tabs are just like anything else. The more tabs you have running, it has 2 gigabytes of RAM on this device, but if you have a lot of tabs open, it can bog it down. And there is a Chrome web store where you can download these apps, so-called but they basically are a big tab for you to go into the website or the web version of these. But there's a lot of different apps out there though, photo editing, games, and I will go over that in the rest of the review. Here's where it might get a little confusing for regular users, for it looks like a desktop when you go out to the desktop area. On the right side, you will see your settings and your sign in and things like that. And on the left hand side, on the bottom, you will see a dock. Now you can add whatever apps that you want to. There's an app tray there. And if you double click on the back, you can set wallpapers too. So it does have a lot of regular OS qualities that would be on a regular computer. So I think some people buy this thinking it's a full-fledged computer, but it's not. But it does have some of those qualities, just like where you can go ahead and take a SD card and go ahead and put it in there, and it will read it like a regular computer does, which is really good since it only has 16 gigabytes of flash storage on board. So I just pulled this out of my camera here. Let's take a look at a few pictures. It works just the same. The file manager is pretty simple, but really easy to get to, and just kind of pick the file that you want to select. And sometimes it takes a little while for it to load up. As you can see, this is all in real time, and the photos take a little bit, especially depending on the size of the photo. But here's some pictures of the Galaxy Note 2, and it doesn't have any problems here rendering the pictures here. And I think that this SD card is very essential for people that want to work offline, because then you can save your documentations and things like that and go ahead and use them while you're not online. For this Chromebook really relies on the internet for you to do a lot of things. So this is a really, really important thing for this Chromebook to have, is the SD card expansion. Now, let's look at the productivity of this Chromebook. For you can do documentations on there. You use Google Docs, and you can write papers, you can write different things in the format that you need to. It's kind of like your Microsoft Office for Google, and you can use this on any device, but on here it's very centric on your Google apps. And you can see here that the typing is really, really good. I enjoyed writing and typing on this Chromebook, so I think this is a very good device if you wanted to just take it for a quick trip and do some documentations here and there and browse the web. It's a very good mobile device for that purpose only. But you can see here that it does run some games, like here's Bejeweled, and like I was telling you earlier, it does take you to the website, or it takes you to a web version per se, and it does run pretty well. And you can see here that it runs pretty good frame rates. It can get stopped up sometimes, especially if you take it to the HD resolution on some of these games. Like, let me show you here with Angry Birds. When you launch it, it will take you to the Chrome version, and it opens up another tab. So I'll go ahead and close this tabs out, because sometimes it runs a little bit better with some more memory on board. And you'll see there's an SD and an HD, and then it kind of logs in or kind of preps it right before. So it takes a little bit of time to launch these apps, but once it does, it will show you the gameplay here and the options. So go ahead and hit play. You can see there's other things available, Angry Birds Star Wars and some other games. So pretty good selection here. And you can see that the gameplay, you use the trackpad, and it's pretty good. It's not the smoothest, but it's definitely playable for regular casual games. So I think that if you're buying this for your kids or something, education-wise, I think this will be a pretty good, cheap alternative to a more expensive laptop. So let's take a look at video streaming on the Chromebook. And there is a Netflix shortcut or app there, but if it takes you straight to Netflix, and it should work fine, but for some reason right now it's not supported. So it'll just tell you that it's not supported, and hopefully there'll be support soon. That kind of sucks, but hopefully they'll add support for that very, very soon. But Hulu Plus works just fine. Remember, Flash is supported here, so I don't see there being any problems here. I watch Hulu on this device. Hulu Plus, very good. You can see for the most part the video is very smooth. Sometimes it can get a little jaggedy here and there, but it will not hinder your viewing pleasure. So let's talk about the most important thing on this, for this is web-centric, and we'll take a look at the Chrome browser. Now, browsing on this device is pretty good overall. Scrolling's pretty smooth in most websites, and if you get into really, really heavy graphic websites though, it can bog down because it's got 2 gigabytes of RAM and a ARM processor, but it's a little bit underpowered, I think, and you will notice sometimes it does bog down. The more tabs you have open, of course, it can also affect that as well. But for the most part, the trackpad is very, very nice, very responsive, very clicky, and I definitely enjoyed that trackpad. It's very good for your web browsing and internet pleasure. And that's the biggest thing I want you to be aware of, is that the performance can be lacking at times, but for the most part, the internet does very well, and that's exactly what this device was meant to do, for you to have web browsing and to do everything on the web browser, and it performs pretty well. For media playback, there's 2 speakers on the bottom, and they perform very well, and I think they're very loud, and I think they sound good, so I don't think you'll have any problem with the speaker whatsoever. But this plastic build is prone to scratches. By no means did I rough this device up at all. This is during normal use. I don't even know how these scratches got there, but I've seen this on a lot of other people's Chromebooks, that the bottom is just scratched up to bits. So I just wanted you to be aware of the scratchability of this. So what do I think about this Chromebook? I think it can be a little confusing for regular buyers, for it's not a full laptop. Sometimes they advertise it like it is, but it does have enough ports. If you do just primarily web browsing and, watch a little Netflix and watch some Hulu and things like that, and just basically web browse and maybe do some documentations here and there, a Word documentation, maybe a few slides, and you really, really enjoy the Google experience and use Google Maps and use Google Docs and Google Plus and Chrome integration, for everything is centric on your Google experience there and your Google account. So, email works really, really good on here. It's basically a very quick, lightweight laptop type device for you to be connected on the internet, but it is not a full computer. And I think the biggest thing on this Chromebook is basically that you can get a tablet for $249 or $300 and get access to the full Google Play Store and have a lot more apps, a lot more games. So the practicality of this device is unknown. But if you're looking for a cheap device that has a laptop form factor that just goes on the web, like if you're buying this for your young kids or you're in education, and if you are maybe an older person that just likes to go on the web, or maybe if you're just a web-centric person as a whole and rely off of the Google services, then I think this Chromebook is good for you. But I still suggest getting something like a tablet so you will have a full mobile experience. So what do you think about this Chromebook? I like it though, but I want to see what you think about it. Leave your comments in the comments below, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.